Rev up your engines. Can you get a Lexus for 1,500 bucks that isn't a falling apart pile of junk? Well, in this case, it sure looks like you can. The S330 2004 was just purchased from a neighbor for 1,500 bucks. So you'd think, okay, it's going to have problems. Well, not necessarily, because, okay, it's an actual New York City car, so it's going to have dings like every car from New York City. You can see it's a city car. It's got city bird shit too, probably pigeons. But the car itself, it is a 6-cylinder Lexus 300 series that can basically last forever. Now my wife's is an ES300, so it's got the 6-cylinder engine, but it's a non-interference engine with a rubber timing belt. So if the belt breaks, it doesn't do any damage. Now with this thing, it is a 330. So it's a slightly different engine. As you can see, it's the same intelligent variable valve timing, but it's 3.3 liters. And it has a timing belt like my wife's, but he's in luck. It was changed at almost 84,000 miles. Well, the owner didn't know it, he just picked it up used, right? But the previous owner had the timing belt changed. This is an interference engine. The pistons will hit the valves if the rubber timing belt breaks. So I tell people, you want to change it at least every 100,000 miles. And this thing is exactly 20 years old now, so the rubber ages and rots over time. And I was going to tell him, well, it's relatively expensive, especially in New York City, to get a timing belt water pump changed on one of these engines. But he doesn't have to, because it was changed like 25, 30,000 miles ago, and it's good for 100,000 miles. So he locked out on that and he didn't even know it. The only complaint he has is that after he drives off, he can smell stuff. Well, what's happening is the valve covers under the beauty cover are leaking. Now the front one's easy, it's right here. But the back one, unfortunately, you have to take the intake manifold off to change it. This isn't a dire situation. He doesn't have to do it right away. I've seen people go years that way. My wife's ES300 smelled for a few years and she was whining about it, so I thought, okay, I'll take the manifold off. And I replaced both valve cover gaskets. The original valve cover gaskets were extremely thin rubber, and that was the problem. The combination of the thinness and the rubber, as they age, they crack and they leak. I replaced hers over a decade ago, and I bought the aftermarket silicone gaskets instead of the factory rubber ones, and guess what? It's still not leaking 10 years later. So if you do want to change one of these, realize buy the aftermarket silicone gaskets, and if you're a cheapskate and you want to try, just do the front one first. Maybe that's the one that's leaking. That'll take you 10 minutes, right? And then if it's the back one, well, if you want to take it apart, you need hand tools. That's all you need, but it takes a lot of time, a lot of cursing and swearing to get at the back bolt. So you might pay a mechanic to do that if it bothers you. But it's such minor seepage, it doesn't really matter. That's pretty much set up exactly like my wife's, except the engine's 0.3 of a liter bigger. You can see almost everything on it is still original equipment. Let's look at the alternator. That's a Denso. It's the original alternator too. These things are so well made because, check it out, made in Japan, right? Now even the leather seats are still in pretty good shape. You get a little crinkling here, but hey, they're still comfy. It is a luxury car like my wife's. It's got the wood. We'll just turn the key on. You can see really nice setup. You can see everything. It does have vehicle speed control on it. And exactly like my wife's, it has a 6-CD changer and a tape deck, because businessmen use tapes for business. Nice armrest, lot of room. Lots of room in the back seat, and a huge trunk to boot. Now this guy's smart. Went to the neighbor, they wanted $3,500, but the goo for the little oil leaking and the various New York City dings, even though that's plastic, it's not gonna rust, but it's worn out. He didn't pay $3,500, he paid $1,500. So man, he got himself a deal. He doesn't mind how this car looks, it will run forever. Now, truthfully, if you did want to get the whole car painted over, these cars are painted in various stages in Japan. They do an excellent job. And get it done right, he'd have to put $4,000 to $5,000 just in paint and body work, right? So who the heck's going to do that on a 20-year-old car, right? He can drive it this way if he wants. He could get touch-up paint, at least paint over the black parts or something like that. So now comes a moment of truth. Get my big old scan tool hooked up. and let's see what it says. Remember that the first time my wife's check engine light came on in her Lexus, the car was 20 years old and all it was a $28 cents or so. We're waiting it to hook up because it is an older car. We can see it's only got 116,138 miles. This baby's hardly broken in. This thing's so old it wouldn't do auto VIN, so I had to type the VIN in. And now that I typed it in, decoding it, knows it's a Lexus. In this case, it's a 2004. Knows the 3MZ, ES330, okay. And even though it's old, it's Telemax. It says can do a topology scan, so here we go. We're doing a full scan. Mahogany's still in good shape. The dash has no cracking. This is an older one. This isn't some of those medium ones where the dash turned to goo and got sticky, right? It's not one of those. It's in good shape. Everything on it still works. Leather's in good shape. Now it's all done. It only has one code, ECM. We'll see if it's some kind of nutty code or it means anything. We'll go to trouble codes and see what pops up. And what pops up is engine immobilizer system fault. Okay, well, this has an immobilizer key. At some point in time, I suppose, someone didn't use the key right. They'll often do that. He doesn't have any problem starting it, so we're going to erase that code. Now, if it came back, there'd be something weird going on, but he has no starting problems. Plus, he bought the car used. Who knows what happens? I noticed it has a new battery. Even changing the battery when it was low could have done it, so we'll see if it's a hard code because we erased it, and we can see it's checking it. It's not a hard code, it's green. So we'll start her up, and we'll look at engine data now. And away we go. Start looking at this data. Remember, black is good, red is bad. Short-term fuel trim. It's subtracting a little, then it's adding a little, it's subtracting a little. You could say long-term, it's adding 8.55%. That means that it's running a little bit lean. It's adding a little fuel. This thing sat, they admitted, for a year or two or more. So my advice, put some of Bernie's ATS cleaner in. Should clean the injectors. That runs good enough. It runs good enough. But as these things sit and age, the injectors will get a little clogged, and some good cleaning will blow it through. Ignition advance is good, 10.5. And it's stable, and you can see the oxygen fuel trims, they're not bad. I mean, 99.15, 100 is perfect. It's not off by much. So we'll go through more. Misfire 0, injectors milliseconds is stable and the correct number, and we can see misfire counts, they're all zeros. I don't expect anything else because they're great cars. So we're taking for a spin. First thing, it's a Lexus. Doesn't shake at all. It's old, no backup camera, just like my wife's. Now, they're not too low to the ground, so we can go over the speed bump here. We don't have to slow down to practically a stop. It'll go over it. And you'll see what's left of this 20-year-old suspension system as we go over the bumpy rides in Rhode Island. Now, here we go. We're hitting the bumps. Now, you can hear them, but you don't feel them all that bad. Even though they're still the original struts, they still work okay. Heck, my wife's is 2 years older and it's still got the original struts and it rides decent. It's still a nice riding car. We'll take it up to the road here and see if it's got any energy left in the engine and tranny. It's a solid automatic transmission. They very rarely have problems anyway. Okay, nobody there, nobody there. Here we go. Hey, before the traction control kicked in, it started to squeal, but hey, it's still got most of its horsepower. Shifts like a dream, and when you want to pass somebody, you floor it, and it picks up quite nicely because it's a 3300 V6, and my wife's is only a 3000 V6. Just like my wife's, the turn signal's pretty quiet, doesn't make much noise. You got to see it. You're really not going to hear it. And of course, it still corners like a dream. This guy got a heck of a deal for 1,500 bucks. The ABS system still works fine. Smooth acceleration. Hey, I wouldn't think twice about getting this thing and driving to California. Solid made car when they were making them in Japan. Reliable automatic transmission, super reliable engines. Well, the moral is, don't judge a book by its cover. It may look worn out, but the mechanicals, the car interior, the leather, it's far from worn out. This thing could probably go another 200,000-300,000 miles, right? The outside, hey, maybe he's going to take it to Queens and get some guys to fix the bodywork cheap. Who knows, right? The car itself, solid, shifts like a dream. runs fine, and you can smell the oil dripping on the exhaust. So if you really wanted to fix it, you'd have to pull off the intake manifold and replace both valve covers. And like I said, use silicone valve cover gaskets. But for $1,500 for this Lexus, hey, it's like a barn find, really, when it comes down to it. They don't make them like they used to. They don't go as smooth as these do. Yeah, they get better gas mileage than the new ones, but hey, when you buy the car for $1,500 versus $65,000, you can buy a lot of gas for $64,000. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.